This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com.
Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. It's 3/8/23, show 472. Well, all eyes are on Fed Chairman Jay Powell today, Nick.
Yeah, they really are, Kerry. Yesterday, he gave his, today, first of all, is going to be the second day of testimony. It started yesterday on Capitol Hill. Today, he's appearing in front of a congressional panel. And his opening remarks yesterday sent the markets plunging, and really right throughout the entire session. It started around 10 o'clock. Selling lasted into the closing bell. And he basically stated that rates will go higher for longer, and the market needed to hear that. And it really began a sharp sell-off. So I'm not sure how the markets react today, but it was a really ugly session yesterday. And generally after you get a big down day like that, the next day you kind of pause. So we'll see what we get out here this afternoon. But I will say this much. The 2-year Treasury note yield, which is something I've been talking about before all these rate hikes even began on this program, that is now over 5%. And that is where the Fed funds rate needs to be. So, again, the Fed has to catch up to the 2-year, and that is definitely spooking stocks at this point in time.
All right. And, of course, the dollar went way higher. Metals got killed. I mean, I'm kind of going off the script here, but it had some wide-ranging effects, didn't it?
It did. The dollar really spiked yesterday. It had a monster move higher. And full disclosure, I am long the dollar via a vehicle called the EUO, basically shorting the euro along the dollar at this stage. And I've been in that play for a while. I just want to put that out there. But gold got crushed yesterday. Gold got hammered. Today it's snapping back a little bit, and the dollar is pausing a little bit. But all in all, the dollar had a big surge. So to see it stall out a little today is not unusual. And you're seeing a little bit of an uptick in gold today. But we saw a big sell-off yesterday in silver as well. Silver just got absolutely pummeled. And, gold and silver are both, hitting some support levels here, but they're minor. In my opinion, both will go lower. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, you do have a Ukraine war going on. A lot of times you'll get a pop in precious metals if things escalate. But that's the wild card. Overall, the trend is now back down for gold and silver.
All right, so the trend is back down, and but interestingly enough, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's little hedge fund, bought close to $6 million of OXY, as we used to call it, Occidental Petroleum.
Well, almost 6 million shares. They already own a huge stake in that company as well. So this is in addition to what he currently owns. He added another 5.8 million shares of Occidental Petroleum, which is an oil giant. And I tweeted out earlier, I thought it was kind of funny. I don't see him investing in windmills right now. Looks like he's investing in oil. So that should tell everybody a little something about the future.
All right. So, hey, what does he say? You buy when there's blood in the streets. You buy when others are selling, when there's a panic, right? And it looks like it, huh?
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like a panic in the oil industry, right? If you look at Occidental Petroleum, that's been a very strong stock. He's been in it for a while, and he's adding here. So, people should take note of that. The energy market, right now can't be replaced no matter how many times you put an electric car on the street. People don't realize it takes energy to charge those vehicles. And again, people have to go and still rely on, traditional fuels. It's really what still keeps the world moving.
Wait, but Elon Musk, on Investor Day at Tesla the other day, said that sustainability is within reach. Now, look, to me, the ultimate sustainable form of energy is oil. It's been sustaining us now for almost 150 years, and it's going to keep sustaining us if they let it.
That's right. And, another sustainable energy is natural gas, which is very, very clean. And it's amazing how, we've had chatter recently about taking away our gas stoves because of some, funded study saying it causes asthma. I mean, this stuff is just so ridiculous.
Bogus.
These people they're living in fantasy world, pulling off this hoax.
Yeah, in a bubble. So going back to what you said about the dollar, it spiked. All right, it's at 105 on the Dixie, 105 and change, down a little today,
Yep.
pullback. How much higher is it going to go, Nick?
Well, it probably stalls a little bit here because we're going up into a big resistance level. You have the 200-day moving average on the daily chart, but the trend is up. And when the trend is up, you'll get these pullbacks and then you'll get moves higher. But honestly, I don't see really any major ceiling for the dollar. You probably go test 107. Once it gets through there, the next level is probably 111. Then after that, it's back to the highs that were made basically in September and October. So, in my opinion, the dollar might have a heck of a lot higher to go from here.
Yeah, I guess good time to go buy stuff in Europe, right?
No, it's a great time, and I think the times will get even better. Right now, if you look at the euro, that's around, 105 as well. We all know that back in September and October, it went below $1 when you look at the euro versus the dollar, and it went below, I believe it went down to like 96. So, we could see something like that again. It's not going to happen right away. This will take some time because you also have the European Union starting to raise rates as well. But remember, when you raise rates, that hurts lending, right? That spooks lending, and it slows everything down. So this is going to be a very, very interesting dynamic. And I would just tell everybody to continue to watch the 2-year Treasury note yield. If that yield continues to climb, the Fed funds rate's got to chase it. And right now, the Fed is chasing its tail because the 2-year just continues to rise.
And Powell mentioned a 50 basis point increase coming up, didn't he?
That's right. In fact, Fed fund futures yesterday were not signaling a 50 basis point rate hike, and now they are. So everybody should be aware of that most likely the Fed now has to go 50 basis points at this next meeting, which I believe is on March 22nd.
Yeah, well, we know that thus far the efforts to contain inflation have been futile and have not been effective. Personally, I don't think they're going to be effective until rates go much, much higher. But the impact, the reverberations of rates perhaps one day hitting double digits is going to be devastating to the global economy. And I think you're going to see currency contraction, volume, amount of currency outstanding, M2 and all that is going to come back.
Sure. Yeah, and people don't understand the Russian-Ukraine war is inflationary. If you get a China-Taiwan war, that'll be even more of a catalyst, because then you'll get supply disruptions coming from China, and obviously war in general is inflationary. So there's a lot of headwinds out here for the markets. There's a lot of headwinds out here for the major indexes, and I would not be complacent this year. It's going to be a very, very choppy year, and really, you're going to have to know the charts in order to navigate these waters.
All right, we'll leave it at that. And we will pick up again on Friday. Make sure you go over to Nick's site, inthemoneystocks.com. See how he's beaten the averages for decades. Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz. Emails welcome, kl@kerrylutz.com. You're on YouTube. Please write your comments below. We'll cover some of them next week, I'm hoping. And Nick, we will catch up with you on Friday.
Sounds good, Kerry.